Dealing with oxidization. Hi, I'm Ivan and this is the Detailer's Business Academy, where we strive to take you from detailer to entrepreneur. Oxidized paint, be it clear coat, gel coat, whatever surface you're dealing with, oxidization or oxidized areas are very difficult to deal with, and a lot of people don't attack them the right way. So here's a few little tips and tricks to make your experience a lot easier and a lot better. First of all, don't start polishing on an oxidized surface. Not a good idea. You want to remove as much of that oxidation as you possibly can before touching it with a polisher. And to do so, there's actually a very easy way. And this works on single stage paints, gel coats, you name it, plastics. If it's oxidized, this will help remove it. Take your favorite all-purpose cleaner, not a degreaser, an all-purpose cleaner. Keep it as concentrated as you can, so basically pure. Spray it on the surface and use a non-scuff dish pad. Yes, you heard me right, a non-scuff dish pad. This will do two things for you. Basically, it will level the surface, so act as if you're claying the surface. And secondly, it's going to remove the oxidation. The combination of the APC and that non-scuff dish pad makes it so that you now have a clean, unoxidized surface. It's still going to be dull. And don't worry, the dish scrubber is not going to scratch the surface worse than it already is. It's just going to improve it. Once you've done that, now you can start compounding and polishing. What are we looking for in terms of a good compound and polish, especially for oxidized surfaces? On clear coat, it's a different world, but oxidized single stage paint or plastics or gel coat are very different. They're very porous. And if you use a compound or polish that has a lot of oils and solvents in it, you're going to get great results that are going to go away just as fast as you put them on there. What happens is those oils and solvents, but mostly oils, actually penetrate the surface and make it look spectacular. They eventually evaporate away, bringing back that dull surface. So how do we test to see if our compound or polish is actually compatible with gel coats and oxidized single stage paint? Very easy. Start by taking just a little bit of your compound or your polish and dab it on the surface. You want no mechanical action whatsoever. You're just applying it to the surface. Let it sit there for a minute or two. Then, with another microfiber towel, dab it off. Again, no mechanical action. You're just putting it on, taking it off. Once you've done that, if the area has improved, well, then you sort of have your answer. You had no mechanical action whatsoever, and hey, it looks good. You can get the same results by putting oil on the surface, because that's basically what you've done. Now, you want to remove that oil, and you want to make sure that the polishing you've done is true, and the polishing that you've done actually is working the way you wanted it to work. Again, we need to cleanse that surface. So using your APC again, clean it again. So after your compounding step, if you want to see if your compounding step actually did something and actually did the work you were thinking it's doing, take your APC, wipe it with the APC. You don't need to use this scuff pad again. Just wipe it with an APC. Then wipe it with your prep of choice. My prep of choice for a single stage or gel coat is a very easy thing you can do yourself. It's 1/3 acetone, 2/3 original blue Windex. The combination of the acetone, ammonia, and IPA give you a really good balanced formula that's going to remove all the oils and solvents that you can find in the compounds. Now, the reason for the APC step before that is APC is actually a little more aggressive than any prep solvent, so it's going to give you the truth as well. But combining the two will give you really back to the paint itself with nothing interfering. So let's say you've polished the hood of that tractor or the side of that boat, whatever. And you want to see, before going all the way around it or doing the whole thing, that your compound is actually cutting and not filling, do a little section, then wipe it with the APC, wipe it with your prep solvent or your prep solution, and then you'll see exactly what you've actually done. Not what you've hidden, but what you've actually corrected. Now, another thing to keep in mind, especially with gel coat, with single stage paint, it is not your fault that it's gotten that bad. And the reason I say that is, you may not be able to bring it back. Now, that beautiful red tractor that's pink, you want to bring it back to red, there's a good chance you'll be able to do it. But if it's been sitting way too long and you may not have enough paint to get down to good solid paint. So when you're dealing with that type of oxidation that is too far gone and you can't polish it, you can't correct it, you can't get it to where you're looking, that is when you have other options, like a wipe-on clear coat. Now, wipe-on clear coats for the average detailer are not the best thing. They're not as perfect as we like a surface. You are going to see the odd little white mark. You are going to see the odd little error. We'll put it that way. But they will bring a surface back. Now, there is a reason that farm machinery specifically does not have clear coat. Clear coat does not stand up to the rigors of a farm. There's a lot of chemicals going on in a farm, and those chemicals really attack the paint. And if you have a clear coat, what you're going to do is it will look good when you put that clear coat on, but eventually that clear coat is going to fail, and then it's going to be a really big mess. So if you're doing farm equipment specifically that has single stage paint, resist the urge to put something on it like a clear coat. Now, once you've corrected it and you've made sure that your correction is true and not just filling, then a good ceramic coating definitely will help. But again, if you're taking a tractor that's 10, 15, 20 years old, that's been sitting out in the field and thinking you're going to make it new again, you may want to reconsider. Now, you are going to improve it dramatically. The owner of the tractor is going to love it, but you may not bring it back to like new condition because sometimes that oxidization is way too deep. Now, with Gelcoat, there's another alternative. Gelcoat, again, is very porous, and there are products out there that you can apply to a Gelcoat that are going to rebuild the surface of the Gelcoat. So sometimes it's a lot faster to do that than it is to wet sand, compound, and polish, because then you're just removing Gelcoat instead of filling the pores of the Gelcoat and bringing back a glossy surface. So there's a lot of different ways of dealing with oxidization. Remember, you don't want to fill the oxidization. You'd want to remove it before you do anything else to the surface. And that is the biggest takeaway you should have from here. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas, please leave them below. Always happy to answer your questions, and we'll see you in the next one. You actually want to remove as much as that... Première journée avec la nouvelle bouche.